If you're worried about how to install your fans on a gaming PC, save this video because it gets blown way out of proportion. For the most part, you can install the fans almost any way you want to, and you're not gonna see that big of a performance difference. But here's what you need to know. Now, used to, we could say that the pretty side was the intake and the ugly side was the exhaust. Now we have things like reverse blade fans, and that's no longer the case. So the way that I like to look at it, if you can see the rounded edges of the blade, that is your intake side. And if you can see the cupped edges, that is the exhaust side. Now, when it comes to installing these, it's a lot easier to install them if you can spend the extra money for fans like these from Corsair. These are the RX 120mm fans, and they are magnetic, which means I don't have to have a lot of cables. If you get normal fans, a lot of times, especially if you want to control the RGB, you're gonna have 2 cables for each fan. And some of these cases these days are using, 8, 9, 10 fans. You double that, that's 20 cables you gotta cable manage, and that's insane. But with these magnetic fans, you can just put them all together and only use 1 cable. They come in white or black. We're gonna be using the white ones to show you here inside their Corsair 4000D. And the main tip that I always give people when it comes to fan placement is make sure you have some intake and some exhaust. Depending on how your case is laid out, you may have more intake than exhaust or vice versa. In a standard looking case like the 4000D here, we're gonna put our intake fans up at the front of the case. But you also have those fish tank style cases that mount fans on the side. You need to make sure the intake is facing the back of the case like you see here. And then typically if you put a fan at the back, you're always gonna want it to be exhaust unless you're dealing with some really weird, unusual scenario. And if you have an AIO, typically you want the air to come in from the case and up to the top of the AIO and exhaust the heat out the top. If there's any other questions you have about fans, let me know down in the comments.